It's time to tee up and hit the greens. We're playing golf on the Game Boy. Not to be confused with Golf, the other creatively titled golf game produced in-house by Nintendo. Now, knowing that Golf, this one, was produced in 1989, in the Game Boy's first year, I wasn't certain what to expect. All I really expected was golf.
Fairways and flags, water hazards and wind, bunkers, birdies and bogeys. Everything you'd expect is present and accounted for, with a square and stout Mario thrown into the bargain. To control your swing, the game uses a power accuracy bar almost identical to the one seen in Golf for the NES, which as far as I know was the first game to introduce this control system. The further to the left you stop your arrow, the more powerful your shot will be. After setting the power, you must stop the arrow as close to your starting point as possible. This sets the accuracy of your shot. Sure, it's a bit abstract and unintuitive, but once you get used to it, this is an efficient system and keeps the player on their toes by making good timing essential. One improvement that the Game Boy edition makes to this system is allowing you to freely aim every shot, whereas the original NES edition restricted you to the 8 compass points except for putting. The greatest testament to the controls of this game is that the basic system is more or less intact in current golfing games, and because the controls boil down to stopping a horizontal line, there's no compromises made for the limitations of the Game Boy hardware. The only real limitations are graphical. You can only see a fraction of the course at any one time, so you need to constantly swap back and forth from your map, and the lack of a 3D perspective makes it hard to judge the height of your shots and clear those treetops. Actually, judging your shots is hard, period. I may know my woods from my wedges, but I've got no idea about the yardage or meterage of each club, and with no in-game indication of how far your shots may go, it makes it hard to stay on the grade. And it doesn't help that it's hard to tell the safe zones from the sand traps on the Game Boy's unlit and murky screen. But Golf does its best to work within the Game Boy's limitations, like using arrows on the putting hills to indicate sloping ground. And the course design is top-notch, with reasonable pars and occasional shortcut opportunities. The sound design, it's also pretty great. The effects are as you'd expect, the jingles are catchy, and having different music for driving and putting is a nice way to keep the music from getting too repetitive. One neat feature is the game's use of battery backup to give you 2 save files, allowing you to suspend your game at any time, a great gift for the gamer on the go. There may only be one mode in Golf, your basic stroke play, but you can select from 2 full 18-hole courses, and this alone was probably pushing early Game Boy technology. The game also supports the Game Boy Link cable, but as I've only got one copy of this game, multiplayer is out of bounds.
Well, that review sure turned into a feature list fast, but that's all this game really is, a set of features. For a game produced by Nintendo themselves, they really failed to put their own stamp on it.
The only real creative touch in the game is this little opening scene where your caddy cheers you on with "Fight, fight, fight!" It's so inappropriate for such an unaggressive sport that it always makes me smile.
That intro aside, this game just doesn't really have its own character. All it aims to be is a faithful recreation of a real-world sport with no surprises. Well, there was one surprise for me. Golf for the Game Boy is just as playable now as it was back in its prime. You can't say that for many old sports games, and that makes this game one worth looking into.